It's another hot day, so let's torture myself once again and make ice cream and race against time to get a photo in before it turns into soup. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are going to be making a very easy Horlicks ice cream. Timestamps are down below in the description if you want to skip the initial blah blah, but stick around if you want to hear a little bit about what we're making first. Horlicks, like Milo, is another childhood favourite drink of mine. Just reminds me of lovely cosy winters with my mug of malted milk. And of course trying to convince mum to add more Horlicks, because as a child I fully believed that more Horlicks than milk was the way to go. Well, I'm a big girl now and I get to decide how much Horlicks goes into my ice cream. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. Once again, like our Milo ice cream, we're going to use a super simple custard base with egg yolks for this recipe. Don't be scared by that. When I first started making ice creams, I was a little bit too, because when you're dealing with egg yolks and eggs and you want a nice creamy end result, there's always the slight risk of it scrambling. But if you use my tips and tricks, you'll be absolutely fine, and it comes together super quickly as well. And I also cheat a tiny bit and I use a little bit of corn flour just to help stabilise those egg yolks. The most traditional of traditional ice cream recipes will just use those egg yolks as the thickener, but a little bit of corn flour does help a little bit. Not too much though, because corn flour is also a thickener and a little bit too much can completely ruin your mixture, so just use a little bit. I will show you how. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. I can't click and sync today. Close enough. First, we've got to make some Horlicks. Here I have 200 grams of Horlicks powder, which is quite a lot of Horlicks. I'm going to pour in 150 millilitres of double cream, and I'm going to gradually whisk in 400 millilitres of milk. This is whole milk, full fat milk. It's looking a bit lumpy, but don't worry because we're going to heat it up now. And the idea is to heat this milk up until it's steaming so we can temper our egg yolks in a minute. But this is also going to help us dissolve our Horlicks. So let's keep stirring until it is steaming hot and all the Horlicks has dissolved. There we go, it's just about starting to steam, but it's not simmering or boiling yet, so we don't want it too hot. Let's turn off the heat, but we're going to keep it on the heat so it keeps steaming, and then look at our egg yolks. So here we have 3 egg yolks, and I'm going to add 35 grams of caster sugar, and about 1/3 of a teaspoonful of corn flour, and this will both help thicken our mixture alongside the egg yolks and help stop the egg yolks from scrambling. Now I'm going to give these a good old whisk together. And now we're going to take our steaming hot milk, our steaming hot Horlicks milk, and we're going to whisk and pour vigorously. And this has helped bring those egg yolks up to a warmer temperature so they're not shocked when we heat them up in a minute. And again, they won't scramble. Now over here I just have our pan that we used just now and a sieve over it. And I'm just going to pour this through just to get rid of any bits of solid egg that was in there. Usually there isn't any. There's none now, so I did that quite well. Sometimes I skip this step altogether and just pour it straight in the pan, but you never know, it's a good insurance step. And now we're going to pop it back on the heat, on a medium heat. Let me just move this so you can see. And we're going to keep stirring until this is thick enough to coat the back of a spoon, or in my case a spatula. What I like to do is I start it off with my balloon whisk, just to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom, and then when it starts to thicken, I switch to my spatula. This takes about 5 minutes, doesn't take long. And also don't be tempted to turn up the heat too high, because again, don't want scrambled eggs. We want them to cook and thicken slowly. Now as you can see, it's now thick enough to coat the back of my spatula without immediately sliding off. And be careful doing this because this is hot, by the way. You can also do the finger test. So if you do this and there's a stripe, that means you're good to go because it's thick enough. So let's turn the heat off and let's start cooling this down. Now here I have a bowl of ice water, well mostly ice, and I'm going to place this other bowl on top. And to help us cool down our mixture fast, we're going to pour this into our inner bowl. Careful, by the way, not to get any water in here. And we're going to keep stirring until this is cooled down. Do keep it moving at this stage, because as with any hot milk type thing, if you let it still. If you let it sit still for too long, it'll form a skin. Now that our mixture's cooled and we've rescued it from our ice bath and dried the bottom so no water drips into our lovely silky creamy mixture, otherwise we'll get ice crystals, we are ready to make some ice cream. I'm just going to get the bucket out from my ice cream maker, pour this straight into the bucket. Let's pop the bucket into our ice cream maker. Bring it over so you can see what I'm doing. I nearly brought the whole toaster with me. Such a tiny kitchen. Let's grab our paddle, lock her in, make sure we're switched on by the mains because I always forget that part. And I'm just going to switch this on. This is a really basic ice cream maker. On we go. This particular machine takes 30 minutes. It depends on what kind of machine you have. This just beeped at me, so it's done. Let me switch it off because I also forget to switch these things off. Set this aside. Right. Get rid of the lid, fish out the bucket. Let's get this out of the way so we can have some space to work. And I have a freezable container which I've actually pre-frozen so it's nice and cool. Right, the first thing I do, get the paddle out, scrape it down. And now I'm just going to go in with my spatula and put it in my tub. As you can see, this is soft serve consistency. Not scoopable, so you can eat it like this, but if you want to be able to scoop it properly, you're going to have to freeze it a little more in the freezer, and this is the case for all, well, most ice cream makers that I know of, even the fancy ones. They'll turn it to soft serve consistency, but then it's up to you to pop it in the freezer for a couple of hours to finish solidifying. Give this a bit of a tap on the counter to even it out. Pop the lid on. And then I'm going to freeze this for at least 4 hours or overnight to firm up. And then when you're ready to scoop, just take it out for 10 minutes and then scoop away. Looking good, and once again my room is hot, so it is melting fast. So let's sprinkle some more Horlicks over the top and call it a day. Check it out! I'm going to take a bite now because it really is turning into soup. My flat is so hot at the moment. Cheers! Excellent stuff. That was definitely the correct amount of Horlicks to put in, even though it looked like a lot, because you definitely get that malted milk flavour coming through. Oh, and this is the perfect flavour for making ice cream sandwiches with a nice enriched bread like a brioche or a milk bread, like the ice cream uncles do in Singapore. Fantastic combination. I don't think you can buy rainbow milk bread in the UK, like the same stuff that you can buy in Singapore. Maybe that's a sign for me to make it. Definitely on a cooler day because I cannot imagine turning the oven on right now. Project for the autumn or the winter. So there you go, super simple Horlicks ice cream. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram on tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too. I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I'll see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Have I been filming with this little antenna the entire time?